don't you call me Mr.?
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most notable times All in the Family confronted social issues.
I kind of get the feeling that, you're all trying to shove something underneath the tablecloth.
Plot points will be discussed, so beware of spoilers. Number 10, homophobia and masculinity. Judging books by covers.
You're gonna want to bust him wide open when I tell you this. I don't know where he gets these brainstorms, but he thinks that you're the... I can't even say it, you Steve.
If you know anything about Archie Bunker, you know he's got a lot of opinions about things he doesn't necessarily understand. He's certain that his son-in-law's effusive and eccentric friend is gay. But the real gag is when he finds out that his good friend, a macho former athlete, is actually the one who's gay.
In all that time, did I ever mention a woman?
Well, what difference does that make? You're a bachelor.
So?
I know, but bachelors, they're always acting kind of private.
Exactly.
Needless to say, this revelation seems to upend Archie's entire understanding of manhood. Though it's not exactly clear if he has learned his lesson, the episode is pretty clear about one thing. There is no one way to be queer, and no one way to be a man.
The truth's in the eye of the beholder anyway. I'll see you later, pal.
Number 9, anti-Semitism and vigilantism. Archie is branded.
Whatever happened to turn the other cheek?
You can't do that no more.
He's right.
He's not right!
Look, you stick to your testament and I'll stick to mine.
In this season 3 episode, white supremacists paint a hateful symbol on the bunker's front door after thinking theirs is the house of a liberal school board member. They only learn about the mix-up when Paul, a member of a Jewish vigilante group, shows up at their place. This unexpected visit pits Archie's reactionary politics against his family's non-violent beliefs. An argument ensues about justice, racism, and vigilantism that feels just as pertinent now as it did over 50 years ago. The show's stance becomes pretty clear at the end of the episode, when violence only begets more violence and Paul, sadly, loses his life.
Shalom.
Shalom. What does that mean?
Believe it or not, Ma, it means peace.
Number 8, homophobia and discrimination. Cousin Liz.
Was this Liz's room?
Well, this was our room, Edith.
Oh, you shared the same bedroom.
We shared everything. Would you sit down, please, Edith?
Thank you.
In this classic boundary-pushing episode, Edith Bunker learns her late cousin Liz was in a long-term romantic relationship with a roommate, Veronica. When Edith gives Veronica an expensive heirloom tea set, Archie blows his top. He's even prepared to get Veronica fired from her job as a school teacher if she doesn't give it back, though he thankfully relents in the end.
She didn't hurt you, so why should you want to hurt her? Archie, I can't believe you'd do anything that mean.
The episode puts a human face on the discrimination LGBTQIA+ people faced, and unfortunately, still continue to face today. One thing is for sure though, no matter how inexperienced or naive Edith Bunker may have been, she was wise enough to know right from wrong.
You mean you're gonna disobey your husband?
Yeah. Case closed.
Number 7, the Second Amendment. Archie and the editorial. Sensible gun laws? Not in Archie Bunker's world. In Archie Bunker's world, everyone needs a firearm.
The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Read that.
Wait a second, you didn't read all of it!
I read it all.
You did not. Look, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. A militia, Arch!
According to him, you need one. The 88-year-old lady down the street needs one. The passengers on a commercial airline need one. That's him rambling, not us. His extreme views land him a spot on a TV news program, where he delivers an editorial that has to be heard to be believed.
You take your big international bankers. They want to, masticate the people of this here nation like puppets on a wing. And then when they get that done, turn us over to the commies.
But in typical All in the Family fashion, Archie reaps what he sows. Indeed, his ideas are thrown right back in his face at the end. He and his family are held up by a fan of his editorial, showing the danger he didn't initially believe in.
Mr. Bunker, did you pay for those drinks?
No.
Bartender, the drinks are on me.
Number 6. Racism and mistreatment. Two's a crowd. There's no sugarcoating it. Archie Bunker was a bigot.
I mean, why is it so important for you for everybody to be the same? I mean, isn't it better? Doesn't make life more interesting? Because we're different?
Racism was one of his most consistent offences, but in this episode, like many white Americans had to, Archie was forced to take a long look at himself and his beliefs.
My old man used to call people the same things as your old man. But I always knew he was wrong. So was your old man.
No, he was.
Yes, he was. Your
wasn't.
father was wrong.
Stop!
Your father was wrong!
When he and his liberal son-in-law Mike are locked in a storeroom overnight, the topic of racism comes up. An inebriated Archie has one of his most sobering and heartbreaking moments, opening up about his racist father's abuse.
My father, he shoved me in a closet for 7 hours to teach me to do good. 'Cause he loved me. He loved me. Don't be looking at me.
It's not an excuse by any means, but to see how twisted his sense of logic became as a result is hard to ignore. Number 5. Menopause. Edith's problem. Edith Bunker is one of classic television's sweetest characters, but even she has to draw a line somewhere.
I'm just trying to show you something.
Stifle!
In the episode titled Edith's Problem, menopause has the Bunker household in an uproar. The usually cheerful and agreeable Edith is suddenly not so sweet, experiencing things like sudden mood changes.
Say, something the matter with you?
No,
Well, I just want to know if you're all
don't
right.
argue with me.
Edith, I ain't arguing. I just
If you're
was asking.
asking for a fight, you're gonna get one.
The Emmy-winning script gave actress Jean Stapleton some amazing comedy to bite into. It also gave audiences one of her best moments, when Edith turns Archie's standard catchphrase right back at him. The roar of laughter that sweeps across the audience alone is worth the price of admission. A lot of it may be humorous, but it's also pretty real. Plus, actually portraying and addressing menopause on TV in the 70s was no small feat.
All of you, listen to me! Well, stop looking at me! I said stifle and I mean stifle! Stifle, stifle, stifle!
Number 4. Vietnam. The draft dodger. Archie and his liberal son-in-law Mike disagreed on most things, including the Vietnam War. In this Season 7 episode, 2 guests at Christmas dinner promised to bring the realities of that war right to the Bunker family's table.
Whenever I ask him what he's doing up in Canada, it ain't like he's a deserter from the army or something, is that?
No, sir. I'm not a deserter.
Mike's friend is a draft dodger who fled to Canada rather than serve. Archie's friend, meanwhile, lost his son in battle.
Your opinion is more important than anybody else in this room, and I want to hear that opinion.
The Draft Dodger has the makings to be a classic comedy of errors, and while the jokes are just as quick and cutting as usual, there's a profound sadness that hangs over the proceedings. The unexpected resolution is a heartbreaking reminder of the true cost of war.
David here did what he thought he had to do. But David's alive to share Christmas dinner with us. And if Steve were here, he'd want to sit down with him. And that's what I want to do.
Number 3. Integration. Lionel moves into the neighborhood.
Now I really believe the house is mine. Oh, hi, neighbor.
In typical fashion, Archie Bunker is upset when his neighbor sells his house to a black family. His plan to buy the dwelling back from them misfires completely when he learns that the new homeowner is Lionel Jefferson and his family.
We like it here. We like the house, we like the neighborhood, and I know we're gonna get along just fine with the neighbors. I'll see you later, Mr. Bunker.
Despite the jokes, it's some pretty ugly subject matter. Of course, Archie's quest to keep his neighborhood white is racist to its core, but the episode pokes holes in his logic until he eventually gives in.
We got a German mailman that never says nothing. Watch him. Oh, yeah. Look out for these colored guys on the garbage truck. They're always trying to set you up for that Christmas tip.
Unfortunately, he doesn't seem to learn his lesson for long. He'd later try to keep a Puerto Rican family out of the neighborhood, and ironically, this time, he'd have Henry Jefferson as an ally.
That's great news. That's great news.
Look at this. It's Nixon and Brezhnev all over again.
Number 2, crimes against the LGBTQIA+ community. Edith's Crisis of Faith, Part 1, and Edith's Crisis of Faith, Part 2. Beverly LaSalle was a groundbreaking character for 1970s television. Although Archie's confusion over Beverly's career as a drag queen drives some of the comedy, it's Edith Bunker's genuine love for the character that really stands out.
Oh, Beverly. To me, you're like a sister. No, I mean brother. Oh, well, both rolled into one.
When Beverly is killed as the result of a hate crime, Edith becomes lost in her grief and questions her belief in God. It's a very heavy pair of episodes.
The way I feel today, I may not go to church ever.
The entire cast, including trailblazing drag performer Laurie Shannon, is firing on all cylinders. Once more, All in the Family is dealing with topics that are, sadly, just as relevant today as they were then.
All I know is Beverly was killed because of what he was. And we're all supposed to be God's children. It don't make sense.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, Edith's Assault, Edith's 50th birthday. This two-parter finds Edith trapped in her house alone with a predator. It's heartbreaking, and there's an added realism that makes it almost unbearable to sit through.
Sybil, I gotta go. No, I'm all right. I'm just rushing around. I got a lot to do before the party. What?
Get rid of her.
But she wants to know what I got to do.
It's not the first example of the sitcom tackling the subject of sexual assault, but this time Edith is the target. Her goodness is a running theme throughout the series. When something bad happens to her, it really drives the point home, ensuring audiences will pay attention and care that much more.
It was awful.
It
was awful. I thought he was gonna kill me.
Although nothing overtly graphic occurs, the episode tiptoes right to the edge, while also dealing with the repercussions in a raw way. It's an incredibly shocking, upsetting, and poignant story that, though horrifying, sheds light on a subject that yet again is still all too real.
Oh, Edith, you ain't gonna identify that guy, are you?
Yeah, if it's him, I gotta stop him.
Which All in the Family episode always gets you thinking? Let us know in the comments.
Well, if you're going to answer your questions as well as ask them, what do you need us for? You're a regular one-man family.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.